Hello everyone, my name is Richard Everhart Groves Jr. and this is True Talk Matters, where we review the African American financial history in this US of A because Black Lives Matter financially and impacts everyone. Well, this is our third episode. Each week we review African American financial history and the part African Americans have played in this USA and continue to play. The research that I've done often brings me to tears. Why? Because reading about the treatment, blatant disregard for Black lives then and still today, it drives me crazy. 150 plus years after emancipation. Well, this week, I'm going to do something a little lighter. A good friend of mine sent me a biography of a gentleman named Janius G. Groves, also known as the Potato King of the world.
Janius G. Groves. He was a successful, self-educated farmer, landowner, and entrepreneur, and became one of the most prosperous African American men in the early 20th century. He was born enslaved on April 12, 1859 in Greene County, Kentucky. 2 decades later, as a free man possessing only 90 cents, Groves made his way to eastern Kansas during the time of the Exoduster movement of ex-slaves from the South. Groves began farming by sharecropping near Edwardsville, Kansas. In 1880, he married Matilda E. Stewart of Kansas City, Missouri. Within a few years, they began purchasing their own land. He earned the title Potato King of the World in 1902 for growing the most bushels of potatoes per acre than anyone else in the world up to that point in time. The couple's 12 surviving children, out of 14 births, that's a lot of kids, helped with the farm and family holdings. Now, Groves, by the 1900s, bought and shipped potatoes, fruits, and vegetables extensively throughout the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
I love stories like this. So Janius Groves surpassed financial parity with most whites in contemporary Kansas, and in the process combated racism. What did he do? He provided economic opportunities to blacks and whites with a particular emphasis on uplifting the race. You can't get better than that. Now, during the busy farming season, for example, Groves employed up to 50 mostly black laborers. He founded the Groves Center and was an African American community near Edwardsville in the early 1900s. He also established a golf course for African Americans, perhaps the first in the United States. He was a cool dude.
Janius Groves was one of the wealthiest African Americans in the nation by the first decade of the 20th century. His holdings were estimated to be worth $80,000 in 1904, which was over $2.3 million, and $300,000 by 1915, which would surpass $7 million. Wow. The Groves family mansion, shown here, it was a 22-room brick home. It was complete with electric lights, 2 telephones, and hot and cold running water in all the bedrooms, and was the largest in the area and had its own railroad spur. I know he was the envy of the area. Janius Groves, he died in Edwardsville in 1925. In 2007, Groves was honored by his descendants, the Voltor Colony Museum, an organization honoring the Exodusters and their descendants, and the city of Edwardsville. He was also inducted into the Bruce W. Watkins Cultural Heritage Center Hall of Fame in nearby Kansas City, Missouri. Man, what a namesake.
Now, if I am not related, although I may be, don't know for sure, I'm very proud to have the last name Groves. This is Richard Everhart Groves Jr. on True Talk Matters. Thank you for listening.